Servus alle.
Hello everyone. Servus, welcome here at the Tegernsee. The Bayern Munich is having a preseason camp this season. We start with the press conference with Vincent Kompany. Welcome, Winnie. It's your second week of practice that you start into. You've got a couple of first-team players missing, but how many things are you learning about Bayern Munich? What about Bayern Munich, about the players, about Munich, about the Bayern, the region? I learn a lot every day, a bit of German as well, and that helps, obviously. But bottom line is we were really working hard last week, which was really good. So the legs are tired already. But now we got some interesting questions, hopefully. Who wants to start? Hello, Vincent. Welcome to Munich and welcome to the Tegernsee. You said you want to play aggressively with the ball. I found that you were talking to the defenders a lot lately. Is that because you were a defender as well? Are you talking to them a little bit more? How do you rate your defensive work? Well, I had the feeling I was talking to everyone, but with the defensive players, I also like to talk to them, but in the end, it's a matter of details, really, and you need to trust to be aggressive, but not only aggressive, but also have the control in possession. And I don't know, I'm lucky to work with the top players now, which is something that I know because I used to play with those type of players, and it's fun to build the connection and to make those players better, and that's what they want as well. And this is the nice thing, because you always believe that when you reach the top level that this is enough, but I don't have the feeling that. I feel more that they want to be better, and that is really good fun. Uli Hoeneß said that now after the player transfers coming in, that players have to be sold. What are your plans with Joshua Kimmich and other players that a lot of speculation has been about them? Do you plan with Joshua Kimmich at right back or in midfield? And what is with players like Goretzka and Gnabry, who are also candidates for an exit, maybe? Well, you were talking about buying and selling players, which is not my job. I'm there for the team, and if you need a precise answer, I might have to answer in English, or I can continue in German. It's really easy. I'm here for those players, for every player in the team, who are all really great players with lots of talent, and in the past they were really successful. But now it's about the future, and I'm one of those who doesn't like to talk about the past too much. I want to work with the guys and feel the energy which I have in the last week. And names are not something that I'm thinking about too much. It's about showing hunger. And maybe I answer the next question in English, but we'll see. And where do you see Joshua Kimmich in your system?
So I understand the question. I really understand, and then we can go through every name: Harry Kane, Musiala. What do I think about Goretzka, Serge Gnabry? I could continue with this for the whole evening. It's not my intention. The one thing I do have, and I do have that experience, is I've played at this level. And not one time has it been the case where, I spoke with Dieter before the press conference, and he explained how much it's a sensitive issue, all these names of players in the German press. But to be honest, ich werde mich nicht damit beschäftigen. Keine Chance.
But I'm not going to get into this too much.
Not one time has someone said about me, Vincent Kompany is guaranteed to play. And I was a captain. And it was the same for every player that I played with in all those years. So the exciting part is that every single day with talented players together you come in and you try to create something special and improve. And these guys, they are used to the highest demand. They're used to it and they love it. And that's what I hope they will love as well this season, is just like to push together 60, 70 games, and we need everyone. And if you want one name, then I'm already going completely beside the point. It would be such a mistake for me to just make this about, what is it, one name now, but I'm sure there's going to be another, a second, a third, a fourth. It would be a mistake.
Daneben, Hanna Reif für TZ München, bitte.
Ja, vielleicht können wir die Frage anders stellen. Uli Hoeneß hat gesagt, aktuell
Maybe we can ask the question a bit different. Uli Hoeneß said that there are too many players now in the squad. Can you have too many players in your squad as a coach? Or is it even forcing them to push the limits a bit more?
You know, I have so much respect, but my job is to just focus on, you know, today I'm going to have 23 players, 4 goalkeepers, you know, some of them very talented young players, some of them very experienced and high quality players. It's my job is to focus on these guys, and then in a few weeks' time I will get another 10, 15 players back, whatever, you know, that's my focus. Everything else outside, yeah.
Okay, erweitern wir das Fragespektrum ein bisschen. Ja,
Ja, das
weg von den Namen.
Wir reden über Bayern. Hallo Vincent.
Hallo.
Sie haben gesagt,
So
Sie haben
let's
über
talk
Bayern
about
auch schon ein bisschen was gelernt. Was haben Sie
Bayern and
gelernt?
Bavaria. You were
Was haben Sie
telling
gelernt?
us you
Welche
learned
Bedeutung auch
something
der
about it. What did you learn
bayerische
about the meaning of Bayern Munich and the Bavarian way of life and the Mir San Mir and what it means? What did you learn in the past weeks? Well, first I learned something about the mountains in Bayern, that it's even tough to climb the smallest mountains because the legs are still hurting. But after that, it's really nice. It's a really nice region in Europe. There are not too many regions that are so proud about their identity and everything. And I'm trying to learn some phrases like "it's an honor," which is just used like saying hi, and about the meals as well. And I was visiting Munich and I was visiting other places, and we were practicing hard a lot. So it's not about me doing sightseeing and learning a lot, because we are working hard as well, but I want to take that extra step as well. And to me it's very important, but my staff does the same as well. And in the end, hopefully in the next 4, 5 or 6 or 7 years. Well, why are you laughing? We want to be adopted Bavarians. The Mir San Mir is something that has been explained to me as a feeling. And I was trying to find out, what does it mean? And if you ask 10 people, then they will give you different explanations about it. But this feeling is something that I can understand, because it means we can win, we can celebrate, but we still have to keep on going and take the next step. And so if we talk about individuals, it's completely the opposite to it, because it's about the club, it's about the next step, about improving, and everything from the past is nice and we can be proud of it, but we still are successful because we are thinking about the future. And to put it in short words, that this is my opinion, but we're going to evaluate further in the future. So which mountain were you trying to climb? The Wallberg. He was going with me, and well, he's is he fit? He's fitter than me. But to climb the mountain was okay, but to the descent after 20 years of professional career, you can feel everything, the hip, the knees, and that's what I did, because where I'm coming from, it was a city in Belgium where everything was flat, and now they said, we're talking about a small mountain, which isn't a small mountain. And now the real question, everyone in the club is stressing how important communication is to you. You were talking to every player. Was it something that was neglected from your predecessor, maybe to talk to the players on a daily basis? And about the system, Bayern used to play 4-2-3-1. Can it be more flexible with 2 10s maybe and change formations within the game? Well, I'm going to answer the first part in German. What was in the past stays in the past because it's not too important to me. I do things because it's important to me to talk to the players and to try to understand what they like to do and what they don't want to do, but that they also understand where I'm coming from. And you always think that it's only a relationship in one direction, but it's in 2 directions, because they need to understand me as well. And there are some things where we are talking about the simplest of things, but to work hard is something to me that goes without compromise. I cannot understand it if that does not work properly. And we need to understand that I want to do everything for the players in order to improve them, in order to make them feel good, and Bayern will do the same, but then again we also want to get the best out of the players, and this relationship is very important.
I don't think we speak too much about systems anymore. I think if you look at the German league, is a very, very good. The Bundesliga is a very good league and a very good example of this. How flexible the coaches are, how much players are able to play different systems. It will depend. I think when you play against a team that is somewhat zonal, doing somewhat zonal defending, you'll probably speak a little bit more about the positional play. If you speak about teams that are more man-oriented in the pressing, you speak more about the movement and the relationship between players to create the space. So yeah, the systems, we're definitely, we know the profile of players we have. We know what are their best positions. We know where they feel comfortable. So obviously, we're always going to stay aligned to that as much as we can.
Daneben Stefan Kumberger für Sport 1.
Vincent, Sie hatten ein gemeinsames Essen mit den Bossen.
Vincent, you were having dinner with the bosses, and Uli Hoeneß said that he got to know you as someone who likes hard work. What was your impression about Uli Hoeneß and the others of the Bayern Munich hierarchy? And talking about Korea and traveling to Korea, which players are going to make the trip and who's going to stay home?
So for sure, it's not necessarily because it was a private dinner. I'm not going to explain everything I said in that dinner, but the main but the feeling is, let's say I went to the museum, right, and they teach you everything about what made the success of Bayern Munich, and you see those big moments where you have to make big decisions, changing the stadium and everything else that came in the history of the club. And obviously then I learn about Uli Hoeneß and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and Franz Beckenbauer, Gerd Müller, all these big names, and they do have that in common. Is at no point in history did they say it's enough. Never, none of them. After they win a title, it was never enough. They continued with the next one and the next one. And even when they lost, they just continued. And we all have our different styles, our different ways of being. I'm still very young in that sense, but my dad is 76. He's still full gas. It's a little bit in my family, and I expect to have the same fire as well. You know, what I look at is how can a person his age still have so much energy? And that for me is such a great example. And I had the chance, sorry to deviate, but to have some conversations as well with Sir Alex Ferguson in the past, in recent times, not this, but in recent times. And when you see these guys, how much energy they still have at that age, how much they are still connected to everything that's happening in today's world. You know, sometimes it's difficult for us to be connected to what's happening in our children's world. So imagine at that age to still be connected to what's happening in today's world. So that's a huge example, and that's why, again, I go back to when we want to talk about individuals, we're making such a mistake. It's none of the history of this club shows that. It's been about the hard work, like you say, and the resilience. Korea, yes. We recover most of the team in Korea. I think some players like Harry Kane, Alphonso Davies, and I'm forgetting one. I should have never started with the first name. Upa and Koman, exactly. So we're going to miss some players still in Korea, and then hopefully leading to the first cup game, we will have everybody back.
Nochmal, erste Reihe, jetzt Christian Kunz für die DPA.
Hallo Kompany. Worauf kommt es in den ersten Wochen der Vorbereitung?
What will it come down to in the first weeks? And talking about Nabi and Goretzka, they were missing the European Cup. Are they showing even more spirit in the practice sessions? Yeah, I had a really positive feeling about them, and I know it's just the beginning, but I don't want to look back too much, like I said, to past season, but what I want to use from last season is, and it's my experience, that players like this, after a season like this, and I'm talking about the whole squad, they want to show a reaction. And this is something to me that is very important, that we are showing a reaction together. We don't need to talk too much, but we have to show that we really want to do it, and that's important to me. 4 more questions.
Hello.
What are your plans with Michael Olise, and what are your expectations about him? And talking about the Olympic Games, he's going to be part of the Olympic squad. Mathis Tell not. Why was that decision made in that way?
So we're talking about an individual in that sense. It's we have the fantastic opportunity to build such a strong team, and of course, the new players that are coming to the team, it's important to integrate them as quickly as we can. But you know, I'm willing to see. You know, that's the biggest thing. Like it's nothing. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm willing to see on the pitch. You know, I'm willing to see the hunger. So as much as 200%. We are bringing new players to this club because we absolutely believe in what they're going to do, and that we believe that they can be as successful as the previous players who had success at this club. So that's the starting point, and it's such an important phase for us as well to get that energy into the squad. People, you know, who generally still need to prove everything, but in the end, it's okay to say for everyone, you know, just okay, let's see it on the pitch. You know, I find it absolutely normal. And then when it comes to the 2 players, one of them being at the Olympic Games and one of them being, it's not something I can dive into at the moment, to be honest. It's very personal.
Dritte Reihe, Philipp Schneider für die Süddeutsche Zeitung.
Ja.
Hallo Herr Kompany.
Hallo.
Es gibt ja einen Brauch, Spieler, die mal für Pep
Mr.
Guardiola gespielt
Kompany,
haben.
there is
Eigentlich. Also das ist, glaube ich, der Trainer, auf den die meisten Spieler angesprochen werden.
something that we can't get around. Everyone who played for Pep Guardiola is asked, how was it with him? And players used to make notes because they got some special tips from Pep Guardiola. What was his meaning for you, and what still is the meaning of him for you in your daily work as a coach?
I've had to say it many times over the years. Obviously, he's probably one of the most, if not the most special coach in this generation. You know, and of course, these type of people will always, these type of individuals will always influence others. But the main thing for me as well is whenever I explain, because I know this question will come back, and I have an immense amount of respect for someone that was very influential in my career, of course. But the main thing I said is when I speak about what my football ideas are. I match my ideas with my personality. When I speak about being aggressive, it's because that's how I was since I was a kid. From the age of 6, whenever I could remember competing in a team. When I talk about being brave and creative and everything, it's because I grew up in Brussels on the streets, and for us everything was possible. So then after that, you take from so many coaches you've had in your career. I had also Roberto Mancini, Pellegrini, so good coaches, that helped me a lot. And you become a little bit of a mix of all of that. But there's absolutely no denying that. A coach like him will always be influential, but it would be such a mistake to not make your own way, because you have to believe and live what you coach.
Auch auf der linken Seite David Fehr für Bild, bitte.
Hallo, Herr Kompany.
Hello.
Können Sie uns sagen, wie das erste Gefühl,
Mr. Kompany, can you talk us through your first feelings? I got the impression that the players are getting a couple more days off, but your sessions are a bit tougher and longer than in the past. Is that what you are trying to do? Yeah, we want to have the players fit and ready, and the preseason is different than in the past because they play a lot more and the players are quicker than they were in the past, so they need to make more sprints in the practice and in the games as well, and it's completely normal that the athleticism is a bit different as far as the training program is concerned, but other than that, I'm trying to have this intensity all the time in practice, whether it's 45 minutes or 2 hours. Depending on what the sports scientists say, what we can do, because we're going to adapt to that. So it is built on science, what we do. It's not about, I want to do this and I want to practice 3 times in the forest or something, because this really used to hurt me when I was a young player and at 7 o'clock in the morning in the forest, and all the fans were there and were applauding, and then again on the next day and a third time, and on the end you got problems in your ankle and your Achilles heel and everywhere, and the players nowadays are practicing on full intensity, but we have to make sure that they are fit, and that's what we're working on in pre-season. 2 more questions. We were talking about the players that are here and about you and the feeling you had. How about the players that are not yet here? Are you talking to them already as well? Were you talking to the captain Manuel Neuer and talking to him how he's feeling, and how is your connection to those players that are still on vacation? Well, the connection was there already, but I was just introducing myself quickly and briefly, so they know that we just had a slight chat, so they know that they can call me all the time. I don't want to destroy their vacation with that, talking to them about the intensity, because they have to relax now, and that is very important. Mr. Kompany, you said you don't want to talk about new players. You have 3 new additions. Maybe players will leave. Is there one position that you'd like to have a new player there? Thomas Tuchel was talking about that holding midfielder. Is there something similar for you that you need in a certain position? Well, in the future, in those press conferences, you have to make those press conferences with Max or Christoph, because I am a connector in between the players and the sporting hierarchy. I don't want to be against the players all the time. I want to be with the players as well. and I cannot
Aber es
talk
ist, wie
too
gesagt,
much
worden.
about
Vielen Dank.
this.
Danke, Vini.
So a lot has been said. Thank you very much, Vinny. Thank you, and we'll see you in practice.
Hat geklappt.
So guys, how was my German today? All right, we're going to take one step at a time. Thank you.